What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Daria.
Yes, what's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
And this time, we're going to be talking about Secret Invasion, the next Marvel series out on Disney Plus. Episode 1 dropped earlier this week. Mm-hmm. And this was a highly anticipated show. Marvel's had its ups and downs after Endgame, and I guess we're hoping for something good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I was like, I just want this show to be good because a lot of stuff we have gotten since Endgame has been really mediocre.
Been mid. It's been extra
show-wise, we haven't had anything good since Loki. We had WandaVision and then Loki, and then everything has
Well, you know what I was thinking the other day? That Hawkeye wasn't bad, but I forget that it exists.
Yeah.
Hawkeye wasn't bad.
Hawkeye wasn't bad.
But it's not.
I mean, some of the other shows weren't bad either.
Is it because it's Hawkeye? And Hawkeye is like a forgettable hero?
That's why we're forgetting
about
him.
He's the Aquaman of the Avengers?
No, because I was thinking that the other day, like, just like thinking about this show and of all the shows we've had since then. And I'm like, thinking of each one we've had, and I was like, you know what, Hawkeye wasn't, like, I enjoyed watching it, but it is so forgettable.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't that bad either.
It was okay.
Yeah. A lot of the other shows weren't bad either, but mid.
They weren't great. I mean,
Miss Marvel's mid, and I think Moon Knight is mid.
Moon Knight is mid.
And that other one?
The one we don't talk about?
Yeah.
Nah, because I don't talk about it.
Yeah, you didn't even post that episode.
Didn't I post that episode?
Nope. You did not.
Oh. Okay.
What was
bad?
Oh,
our final review. He did not post that.
I don't want to talk about She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. Anyone who defends She-Hulk is wrong.
Wow.
Like, no, you're objectively wrong. There is nothing good about that show. It is a bad show through and through. CGI is bad. Storytelling's bad. The plot is bad.
Wow, those are some strong words from you.
Oh, it's bad.
So you're saying besides that show, in general, the Disney Plus shows have been average?
Yeah, yes. we've gotten
I will go with
pretty
that.
average.
Yeah.
There weren't ones that like I disliked. I'm probably not going to rewatch Moon Knight or.
Well,
Miss Marvel.
Like I would never go back to them, which is interesting because lately I've been watching Gifted, which is that X-Men show.
Such a good show.
Such a good show. Like I'm watching, I'm like,
that's a good show.
Man, this show was good. Mm. And I don't think outside of the ones we mentioned, has there been a show on Disney Plus where I felt the same?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. WandaVision probably.
I said outside of the ones we just mentioned.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Pay attention.
All right, so now this is where we are as Secret Invasion starts, and I'll be honest, I think they did a good job. We're going to talk about a few things with the show. And I am at the end of the podcast going to talk about the bit of controversy with the AI intro, because there's an intro to this. It's AI generated, and I guess some people have some issues with it. So we'll discuss.
Are we doing full-on spoilers?
Yeah, spoilers. Yes. TV show, man. I'm not about to dance around stuff. Spoilers for Secret Invasion. If you haven't seen it, it's only an hour long. Go watch it and come back to the podcast.
Was it an hour?
55
minutes.
Wow.
A true 55 minutes. Well, not a true.
When it ended, I could have kept watching.
Yeah, definitely.
It did not feel like an hour.
Some surprising revelations and events in this episode. Plus, I guess I can throw some theories. I have a crazy theory, which I know is not true, but I want to put it out there. I got a crazy
one, too, and I'm going to keep it to myself unless it's true.
Nope, I'm going to put it out there.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we have the same theory.
Okay.
All right, so, anyhow, we start with Everett Ross. Who's been contacted by another agent, and he's like, yo, there's a lot of stuff going around the world. It seems like it's different terrorist groups, but I think it's the Skrulls, right? Mm-hmm. And Everett Ross is like, yeah, bro, you're tripping. You know, the Skrulls are good, right? You know, we all watched Captain Marvel once, and the Skrulls are the good guys. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it turns out Ross was a Skrull. That was interesting.
I pegged him as a Skrull, but here is my question. when in the timeline is this happening after everything we
Yes.
have seen? Okay.
Yes.
This is
So-
the most latest show.
When
Yeah,
did
because
they
it said present day.
Right. Okay. When did they snatch Everett Ross? Because in Black Panther, this dude was busy going around doing his Scooby Doo stuff.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
the question.
Yes.
Since when has he been a Skrull? Did they capture him after the Wakandans broke him out of prison, or was he already a Skrull? We don't know.
Right, because when we see, like, when the scrolls, like, they can change into anyone, but when they take your memories, they basically imprison you. Because we saw
Yeah.
that with that one guy.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they can take your memories.
Right. So then I'm like, is Ross up in here?
Maybe. Yeah, he
And
would
then
be.
when
He would
did
be
he
in
get
there.
snatched?
So that's what we
Yeah.
need to know. But I think the director said that we will find out. So probably get an
Okay.
answer for that later on. But yeah, when did he get snatched up? I need to know. How long was he a Skrull? Was he a Skrull in Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but still.
Whatever. It better make sense, because if it don't, I'm going to tear it apart.
No, I think it's fine. Honestly, his character I think could have been a Skrull the whole time. I don't think
Yeah.
it really matters.
Since 1992? Or whatever year
No,
Captain
no,
Marvel was
no.
Civil War
supposed
was
to
the
be?
first time he showed up, right? He wasn't in Captain Marvel.
He was in Captain Marvel.
Ross? No, he wasn't.
No.
Oh, that was the other dude.
That's Coulson.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Coulson would have turned
Coulson.
to a Skrull in Avengers if he was. So.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I was getting my people mixed up.
yeah.
Shame.
No, Ross first showed up in Black Panther.
No, Civil War.
Civil War.
Yes, Civil War. Sorry.
Okay, my bad. I got my.
If
my
he was a
two-
Skrull the whole time, I think they can explain it off. It was fine.
Sure, they can.
Yeah.
They can yada yada that.
Yeah. I mean, he's just pretending to be an agent, so he's going to do the agent things. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Help the Wakandans? Sure. I guess the downside is he did have that serious injury in Black Panther, and he didn't revert to Skrullness.
So they can't do it. For it to make sense, it has to be after Black Panther.
It has to be after Black Panther, yeah.
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 All right. So, yeah, but he's a Skrull. I did peg him as a Skrull, but then I had a little bit of doubt after he shot the guy, right? And I'm like, okay.
To me, that was like, oh yeah, definitely Scroll.
And then he's chasing, but then I'm like, is the Skrulls the ones chasing him?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
I mean, yeah, it was. But then it ended up being Talos. I didn't expect it to be Talos.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be Talos.
Yeah. But yeah, oh, he didn't make that jump. I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He tried to jump
When-
across building. This is why you don't try jumping across buildings.
First of all, aren't they supposed to be athletic? How he not make that jump?
Does he look athletic?
The alien is athletic.
Oh,
Not all of them.
Not
This
all
was an
of them.
Yeah.
unathletic Skrull.
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, when he fell, though, I was like, that's when I said this is a scroll. Because I was like, they're not killing this dude off on a TV show. But then
Well,
something
and
else.
some
happens.
other people died on
Yeah.
TV shows,
And I was like,
Well.
wait. Yeah. But we'll get to that.
So, starting off with the show, this is one thing that I appreciate. It definitely is a spy show, which I think actually Skrulls are perfect for a spy show.
Perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
who's
Yes.
who? I don't know who to trust. Oh, it's beautiful because they can
Yes.
be anybody.
Yeah.
And it take from the beginning, you can tell it takes itself seriously, which was enjoyable because
Yeah.
a lot of the Marvel TV shows, which is probably why a lot of them are mid, they don't take themselves seriously. There's a lot of meandering and just
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
this is a very interesting topic, and I want to come back to it when we get to random facts.
okay.
But like, I agree with you. To me, that is why I like this episode, because it was different than the normal Marvel stuff we've been getting lately.
Mhm.
And for the longest, they was like, "We're gonna give you the Winter Soldier
Yeah,
again."
they kept lying about that.
Everyone likes that, and this is what, and like, we haven't gotten it.
Nope.
And this one I feel like is more in line with that. Now, we need some Winter Soldier type fights up in here. But
Depends on who's fighting. I don't know. Who,
well, I don't want to see Nick Fury doing all that. I don't know who's left. They better introduce some more characters. So, but like I think that is why I was like, oh, okay, I like what's happening here, because it is more of a thinking show. It's like, who's who, why they're doing this, why isn't Nick Fury the person he used to be?
Yeah, because they mentioned that a lot. I think 4 different people
Yeah.
told him like, yeah, after the blip, you're not the same. You don't have it anymore, basically. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, because Nick Fury is always the guy, even in the cartoons and the comics or whatever. He's always like super confident. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm what did Iron Man say in the Avengers? Like, you're the spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always was. And now it's like, this Nick Fury is different. He's more of a broken man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, dang, what happened? I got some theories.
Well, I feel like just on the outset, it's like it gave him PTSD. So it's just like they prepare. Well, they even said it in the show, where it's like you prepare for everything, and you still weren't prepared for this.
Right.
Yeah, that, and I still feel like there's still glimpses of like the old arrogant Nick Fury, like when he's talking to the guy in the gallery,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and the guy's like, "Are you going to shoot me?" He's like, "No, probably, maybe." It's like,
yeah. So, I mean, but that is, I think, the best part of the show is that it does that, and I think Marvel shows need to do that more. And I'm not saying they all have to be serious spy thrillers, but in the context of what it is, it needs to take itself seriously. Barring Daria here, we're going to sit her to the side for a second. This is the reason why I think Guardians of the Galaxy did better than the other movies in the last two phases. Because even though it is a comedy, Guardians is always a comedy,
Yeah.
it did take its story seriously.
It did.
And focused on it and made sure it hit those important beats.
Yeah,
And-
because like the scenes with Rocket, like those stayed serious and they didn't cover it up with like jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like they had jokes in places where it should have been, but it's like when it came to like telling the story and the seriousness of it, it stayed that way.
right. Well, I don't think like Guardians of the Galaxy knows what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though this last movie was more serious, it still was true to what they are. It
Yeah.
still felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie
Yeah.
compared to Ant-Man, which tried to be something different than what it was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ant-Man has always been the more lighthearted stepson of the MCU movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we don't want to be that anymore. But that's what you are.
Yeah.
And like when you step out of your box, you end up with a horrible movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless you
And-
do it right. Well, yeah, I mean, we can even go back further when we go to Love and Thunder, which I've mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast. Upon second watching, it's been a year since I watched it, but I did watch it a second time. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I still don't think it's the greatest movie. But when we go back to Thor: Love and Thunder, it's that same thing. They took that, hey, we had comedy in Ragnarok, let's just make this a comedic movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't work, you know.
And I felt like in that movie, when there were serious situations, they made a real serious situation lighthearted with a joke. So it was like you didn't have a connection or a feel with the character.
Because they always undercut it with a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's this girl's name? Jane.
Yeah. Yep.
Is
That's what I was
dying.
going with that. Yeah.
She's having a serious conversation with this man. And then you put a joke in there. Like,
Yeah.
this lady has cancer.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
Well, the thing is like two important characters died in that movie, and I didn't have a care for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, dude, if something happens to Rocket, like, okay, this is going to be something serious. Like, I felt something.
Well, you see, the characters have to make the audience feel because that's what it is.
Yeah.
So this show, I think, does a good job of that. You feel the tension of everything. Now
Opening scene.
Yeah, we find out there's a rogue faction of Skrulls, and basically they're like, we're done looking for a planet. We have a planet here. We're just gonna take it over. One, I don't know, try to live peacefully among the humans.
You're like, why you gotta take the whole thing?
Yeah, like why you gotta get rid of the humans? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, why you need a new Scrollus?
The Asgardians are living on Earth.
Is that the name of the planet, Scrollus?
Scrollus, yeah.
Yeah, like why you need a new one of them? Like just leave.
Yeah, you don't have to hide. I mean, I guess if everybody came out like, yeah, we were secretly among you, there might be a little bit of tension.
I mean, yeah. Well, then my thing is go find another planet. What's on Mars? Go
Mars,
there.
yeah, go live on Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's nothing on Mars, but did they really have to go that far? Because since we have actual space travel,
Yes. In this,
I feel like
in this
colonizing like Mars would be a lot easier. The most difficult part is getting there.
Well, why don't they just go to the moon? Isn't that where the Inhumans? Like, since we don't have Inhumans, you just go to the moon.
Yeah, live on the moon.
world.
There you go.
Put an atmosphere up, or
That's
make a
free.
dome,
Yeah.
or just put a bunch of spaceships there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live on the spaceships.
Yeah. It was similar in the comics, but in the comics, their world was destroyed by Galactus. He ate their planet.
Mm,
We definitely are going to get a Galactus eventually, since Fantastic Four is.
definitely. Too bad we haven't had
Correct
it yet.
one. But yeah, so in the comic books, that's how they ended up on Earth, looking for a new planet to live. Yeah.
Well,
Makes
Still,
sense.
it's like, why Earth? But
Right, when we're in a universe
it's where
where
there's inhabitable planets.
yeah,
There's
like
a
they,
ton of
how,
fucking planets.
how has it been 30 years and y'all haven't found a planet yet? Y'all
Exactly.
didn't need Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. You could have
Yeah.
did it by yourself.
Right. That doesn't make any sense. So since 1994, y'all
They
been
haven't
looking for a
found
new
another
planet.
for them.
There is no other planets for you.
Unlike real space, there are tons of planets with people living on them.
Well, considering how
Yeah.
aliens keep popping up in this universe, y'all couldn't find no planet for you. Just don't make no sense.
What the
This
weird
was my
planet with
number
the,
one
the
thing.
glass temple that was in Love and Thunder.
Right.
You could live right there.
Well, my thing also, I was like, why do the planet have to be empty? Like, why does it have to be a non-inhabited planet? Why you can't coexist with whoever's on there?
But my
Now, I
thing
don't know
is-
if Earth's the best choice because, again, we
Well, I
probably
get,
are gonna be
yeah,
not
I
trusting.
get that, but I'm just like,
But
what's taking them so long? They're looking for an empty planet.
But actually, they're in a good position.
they looking for an empty planet. We got 9 of them, or 8, or
No,
however many planets
4.
they say we have now.
4.
What do you mean 4?
You can't live on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune
Because there's no atmosphere.
because there's no land.
Oh, right.
But
You can live on a
maybe you
ring.
can in the comic book world.
Right. In the comic book world, there's land.
Okay, or I mean, they're immune to radiation, right? You know
Yes.
how we
No.
keep talking about
Yes.
Titan going around Jupiter? Like, it's like the size of Earth and stuff. It'd be perfect, except for Jupiter lets off all this radiation that would kill us all.
They're aliens. It doesn't matter.
So they could live on Titan.
All right,
Yeah.
go to Mercury. Nothing happens on Mercury, right? You didn't hear anything about Mercury?
I mean, it's kind of super hot.
I was like, I don't think.
They're
Also,
aliens.
super cold, apparently.
They're aliens, right?
It's
They
super hot
can't
on one
adapt.
side and super cold on the other.
Does the planet have to be Earth-like?
I mean, I think they would need a temperate climate.
Well, the thing
You're
is-
living next to the sun.
If you haven't noticed with comic books, all planets are Earth-like.
That's true.
I'm just saying we have.
Like, we have a hard time fighting Earth-like planets in real life, and they're just like, yeah, man, there's tons everywhere. It doesn't matter what
Everywhere.
kind of star it is.
I don't think they're looking hard enough. That's the point. Like we got Mercury, Mars, and Venus just waiting for the taking.
Well, the blips slowed them down.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, Mars and Venus should be. They just have to do a little bit of terraforming, which with the technology that exists in Marvel, I'm pretty sure they can do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just throw a tree up in there. You good to go.
Man, go to DC's universe, steal that Kryptonian world engine thing. It did terraform more. Also, Kryptonian. I'm sorry, I know we jumping way far, but why? Why did you have to take Earth? If you can change a planet,
you could.
why didn't you just
could
take Mars?
I'm telling you, it don't make no sense. Why they gotta be Earth? Like
They're like, we're gonna
billions
kill
of
all these
people
people.
and then create a
and make
planet
our
like
planet,
ours.
make this planet like ours.
I'm like, yo, just go take a planet
Take an
we're not
empty one,
using.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like the Skrulls could do that. I mean, you have spaceships.
yeah, they're not trying. They saw this and was like,
No, they just like Earth, basically. And they're trying to blame Nick Fury. You
Yeah.
abandoned us. Yo, dude.
like, man, whatever. Y'all just lazy.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, that's their plan. But I think they do a good job in this show of making it, I don't want to say scary. I don't know a better word to use. But
Intimidating?
yeah, intimidating for the Skrulls to be around. Like, because you really don't. There's no way for you to tell. How can
Yeah.
you tell
Yeah.
Yeah.
if someone is a
Kind of
Skrull?
like Invasions of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
It was aliens and
I know the movie. I'm just saying they weren't. I mean, I guess if you didn't know who was who.
yeah, it's
but-
like you don't know who was who. Except for in that, like when they took the place of somebody, that person was dead.
right. And then they put him in like a little cocoon thing.
Yeah. But it was the same thing. That's how they were able to like have their memories and stuff.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
You ever see that? It's an old
I haven't
movie.
watched
it. It's an old
It's
movie.
a very weird watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't
Hints
watched
on
it
why
yet.
how they came up with the scrolls, though.
Well, of course. So, so we got Talos. His wife was killed.
Yeah.
I guess fighting this rogue faction of Skrulls. That's what they alluded to. And his daughter have run away to be with the rogue faction of Skrulls, right?
Yes.
So that's where he is. And so basically they're trying to find, because the information they got is the Skrulls are going to have a dirty bomb. And so that's what this episode is about, trying to stop that.
Right. So his daughter's like, I knew finna get gone. I'm like, man, don't trust that girl.
Yeah. So, okay. So, because we find out, Talos meets up with his daughter and she's like, okay, well, here's what this is the plan for tomorrow. Basically giving him inside information. But she lied. She lied to him.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and they didn't use a dirty bomb either, but I guess that was the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's the Skrulls' plan. They wanted to blame Nick Fury for the bomb.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's why they wanted him to be there.
That's why they wanted him there.
Oh, okay.
Well, plus they're trying to start a war between the U.S. and Russia.
Right. Yeah.
So they bombed Russia, and now you
And-
have a U.S. person that was there on the scene.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
he does work for the government.
True. Except for, is SHIELD still not a thing? Because it was only 3 of them.
No,
No.
it's Sword.
Which they were calling Saber for some reason.
No,
What's up with
space
that?
station is
Yeah.
Saber.
The space station is Saber, but they're working
Yes.
for Sword?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did they say that?
He was on Saber.
He was on
I know he
Saber.
was on Saber. Did they say they were working for Sword?
No, they didn't say who he was
So then
working
how are
for.
you assuming it's Sword?
Oh, I don't know. He
Because
was on
the last
Saber. He
time
works
they
for the
brought it
government,
up,
though.
it was Sword.
When did they bring it up and call it Sword?
One of the shows.
I guess one.
I don't
I want to
recall
say
that.
WandaVision.
Are y'all sure?
Because
Yeah.
WandaVision's Sword has a space thing. Because that was the whole thing Monica
Yeah, because
was talking
that's
about.
what the
My thing is, did they
And
the
ever?
dude
saw
from
the-
the dude from Off the Boat. He said that.
They called it Sword.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they brought it up again when they were taking apart Vision.
And then remember, Monica still works for Sword, and she was taken up at the end of
Yeah.
WandaVision, and we saw her in the trailer on the space station for the Marvels. So I'm gonna say it is Sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, on that episode, it said
Plus,
Sword.
it's a stand-in for the Peak in the comics, which
What?
is the space station for Sword.
So then now they're calling it Saber
Yeah,
because that's a synonym
for Peak. No.
for Sword.
Oh, well, but the space station in the comics is called Peak. So,
I was thinking, like, where'd they get Saber from? That's not
I
right.
guess because it's Sword. I don't know.
Okay, so either way, that doesn't answer my question. The fact that there's still only 3 of them to stop a dirty bomb in Russia.
Yeah, they probably should have called some more people. But they're
Yeah.
spies. James Bond stops it by himself.
True.
Seeing how James Bond ain't on their team.
But you have the spy.
It still would have happened with James
These
Bond.
spies
though.
have a spy.
Okay.
It still would have blown up with James Bond because it's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but he would look cool in it.
There was a lot of stuff throughout this show. And similar to with Spider-Man Far From Home, where like if you go back and watch, you notice that there were a lot of people working for Mysterio around Peter the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then with this episode, you notice that throughout the episode, there were a lot of people that were Skrulls that kept showing up around Nick Fury throughout the episode, especially like on his walk.
Mhm.
One, the little girl. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm like, it's like midnight. You playing with a little ball in the middle of the
that would have
street?
definitely been a red flag.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Hey, I'm sorry.
And then why was everybody staring at me?
It would have been like, pew, pew.
Yeah.
That little girl would have
what, like Will Smith?
In Men in Black, that's exactly what I thought of. Like, why she got an algebra book?
Yes.
No, it was like quantum physics.
Quantum
It's like,
physics.
nah.
She's like in the middle of the night studying quantum physics.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he just said, she told him it's not good to go for a walk
Well,
right now in midnight, and
And when
you got
he's
a
in
girl.
Russia, he's
Well-
gonna stand up. Oh,
I think it's because it's a black man in Russia.
Yeah.
At
Yeah, but
midnight,
there's
just
a
like,
girl playing with
Well,
a
see,
ball.
no, that was weird. But that's why upon first watching, I like I didn't think twice about like the lady staring at him as he walked down the street.
Because I was thinking like she's
Oh,
probably
she's like, what's with this black guy in Russia? You know,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
there aren't really black people in Russia, so
makes sense to me. That's
Yeah.
okay.
So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, okay, but nah, that was a scroll.
Mm-hmm. And then the Russian dude in the bar.
The Russian dude in the bar that had a conversation. I'm like, you gotta look at everybody that's talking to you. You don't know
Yeah.
if they scrolls or not, and they all turned out to be scrolls. Which is again, I find it really interesting as you watch the show because it's like who's who. Who do you trust?
Yeah.
The scrolls have set up a new scroll list at a nuclear power plant since they're
Immune to radiation.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't care if you're alien or not. How does the radiation not break down your cells?
It's because they say
Shape shift?
shift.
Around the radiation, their body just goes around it. All right. Okay, but anyway, they're immune to radiation, so they can stay at power plants. Here's a thought. Why are you hiding? How about since we're immune to radiation, can we take all this land with these abandoned nuclear power plants that you humans can't live on?
But they want the whole planet though.
They don't need the whole planet. It's not that many
It's
scrolls.
not that many of them.
There are 8 billion people. Yeah, they
Yes.
got brought
Yeah.
back. There's 8 billion people,
Yes.
right? Okay. And a couple thousand,
But
maybe?
they're not happy with it. They want the whole thing.
So they want to multiply to 8 billion.
Yeah, it's possible. Humans did it.
Yeah, they took a long time. You don't need to kill all the people.
You don't.
I mean, I know they want
But
to.
it's
But why?
classic villain.
I mean,
Yeah, like they're destabilizing governments and stuff, and it's like you don't really need to.
my thing is, why not just fight? You know what I mean? Like, why this underhanded? Let's make
Well,
U.S.
because
fight
Because they'll
Russia.
lose because there's 8 billion humans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to let the humans
Because
take
if
themselves out.
if the humans find out that it's them, yeah, they're going to lose because they're outnumbered greatly. But if you get the humans to wipe themselves out,
But my
Especially
thing is,
with nuclear
if I can
warheads, since you
shapeshift,
can withstand it.
then I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna shapeshift and I'm gonna take out the U.S. president. Now, while I'm out there, I'm gonna take out like the Parliament and the Queen of England or King now, I guess. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I'll just be underhandedly just knocking out all the world leaders.
Mm.
This other plan seems complicated.
well, I mean, you start a war, it could end really fast.
Wars are never fast.
No, you think they're fast.
Well, they escalated it really quickly, though.
But see, because they're trying to start a war between Russia and the U.S. because they immediately think like that.
That will
means-
start World War III.
Well,
Yes.
that just means that means a human annihilation, right?
Because
But-
someone eventually is going to use a nuclear weapon, theoretically.
Yeah.
Theoretically, but you know what? To be honest, nobody wants to use a nuclear weapon.
You hope.
Because of the casualties and the fallout.
Yeah, I
because
mean,
no one wins.
There are
Yeah.
idiots,
yes.
obviously,
Yeah.
but like in general, nobody wants.
No
to,
one wants to do this.
No.
Yeah, because they're like, well, one is like if you fire it, someone else is going to fire it, and then that's it. Like we all lose. There's no point.
Yes.
You
no one
can't.
wins.
You cannot fire it off because then it's like, oh, what did you do? All right, well,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's basically what they're hoping for. That humans take themselves out and then they just sit back and reap the benefits and then multiply to 8 billion people.
I guess so.
to quote Tony Stark again,
Not a great plan.
not a great plan.
Not a great plan.
Well, that's their plan.
Speaking of nuclear, I wanted to see that movie Oppenheimer.
You do?
You do?
Eh.
Yeah.
I mean, if it come on a History Channel, I'll watch it.
All right, so we have an interesting story with Talos too, because he's obviously he seems a little bit out of it too. I know he said he's barely 40 and
He's acting really old.
That man, first of all, you see that man? That man's
He's acting
60.
really old.
But yeah, he seems out of it. I mean, from Captain Marvel to this, I'm like, I don't think you got it anymore.
Well, I mean, his daughter is a traitor.
And his wife is
His
dead.
wife is
Yeah.
dead.
And then
And he
has
lost
a
his
bit of-
best friend.
His friend left. Apparently, just literally just bounced on them.
Yeah.
So I
he
guess
has no one.
he's trying to keep the pieces
His only
together.
other friend that he had was Nick Fury.
But that's what I'm
And he was
saying.
gone.
Like, yeah. So and then Sword apparently is made up of 3 spies and no one else. Where's the green hair lady?
it's more people.
I don't see that. They showed 3 people in this episode.
Oh, the green hair lady. Isn't
Yeah.
she a mutant?
Ooh. So
I
we
think
can't
so.
have her?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point they got to use mutants. So
That's
MCU.
true. Start
At
introducing
any
them.
point you're ready, you can toss them
I mean,
in.
you can start tossing
I
some
wonder,
in.
will Super Scroll come out of this?
Oh, yeah, I think so. They showed a bit in the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is this going to set up the Fantastic Four that I don't want to see?
Yeah.
Maybe. But also I think it's a bit of a conflict because obviously he's not on the Skrull side. He's like,
But
we're not going to do this.
how do
But
you
he
fight your
doesn't
own
want to
people?
take
Yeah.
out his own people.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you better get with the humans. We take each other out all the time. No qualms.
No qualms.
Is that a good thing?
No.
It's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing. No.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's tough for him. Then we said Nick Fury has been gone for a very long time. Comes back because Maria Hill says, "Yo, there's some stuff going down. You should probably come back."
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the third act.
Fast forward to the end.
Fast forward to the end. Because everything is
His daughter
is pretty much
tricks
just
them.
a setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just set up like, but we knew this though, right? Like, you can't trust this girl.
Oh, I knew that from the get.
You cannot trust this girl.
Yeah.
Then show enough, those backpacks that they were supposed to be following the bomb in, nothing. Although that little weird clown thing
What?
that Nick Fury was following,
Yes.
I'm like, yo, why are we following this thing?
Well, because he has a dirty bomb.
Shoot it.
Man, you shoot it.
Well, yeah, and then he's really, Nick Fury kills Russian citizen.
It's a clown. No one will be mad at you.
Yeah. And it would have turned into a scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no one will be mad at you. But
Yeah.
either way,
Because that's the one thing. When they die, they do turn
they
into
turn
they
their
turn back. Yeah.
true form. So it can't be like, oh, he shot a Russian citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no surprise, his daughter wasn't legit. I'm like, I knew you should have shot
Yeah.
this girl.
Oh, I forgot to mention Gravitz, right? That's our main bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the leader of the evil scrolls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he seems a bit angry.
A man.
But
of
I'm
little
like, is he
words.
that angry? So here's where my crazy theory is gonna come in.
Okay.
Because I'm like, is he that angry just because they haven't found a planet yet? Like, he seems really like he has it out for Nick Fury, basically. And I don't think it's because after the blip, Nick Fury disappeared for a couple of years.
No, like one, I think Nick Fury left, and it wasn't because of the blip.
Yeah.
Like whatever had happened has to do with Gravik, for sure. Like he left because something happened. Gravik is angry because something Nick Fury did, for
All
sure.
right. Here's my crazy theory that's
All right.
going to be wrong, but I don't care. I'm gonna mention it.
All right, go ahead.
What if Gravik
Mm-hmm.
is Nick Fury's half human, half Skrull son?
Okay, that's my crazy theory.
That's your crazy theory?
That's my crazy theory.
I was like, this dude is Nick Fury's son. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a feeling.
That
I got
that
a
is
feeling
that is
was
my
mine,
that's
too.
my crazy theory, and
Okay.
I was like,
I said it. I was like, I think all three of us is on the same page.
I'm
Okay.
like, I'm gonna keep this
Yes.
to myself because I'm like, it's
Yes,
so crazy.
because Fury was with the one scroll, the lady in the suit, right?
what lady in the suit?
What?
Was it her?
What lady in the suit?
What are you talking
What
about?
The
show
red
slash movie?
Oh, she's not a Skrull?
She was a human.
The Russian
Yeah.
lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No,
she's
she's not a-
English, first of all.
Whatever.
Okay.
And no, she just
Oh, okay.
works
No,
for
she-
MI6.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they was just making reference of him being with somebody, but not really mentioning it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Nick Fury did have that throwaway line. It's supposed to be a joke to Talos about like, oh no, they're good-looking Skrulls. You're just not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, look, is it like a stretch to say that line meant anything? Yes, but hey, if he found some Skrull attractive, maybe he had himself a little Skrull girl.
Or
and
maybe he's like Captain Kirk and just a freak.
true. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a Skrull, so you don't have to be like look green and stuff. She can look like anyone.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean,
weird.
that's
I don't
what
know if
Mystique
I
did
would. I
with
would want
Magneto.
that relationship. It's a little weird that they could just turn into anyone.
Ew.
That's what Mystique did with Magneto.
Magneto.
Wolverine, wasn't it? It was Wolverine. She kept turning into different people.
That's weird.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and The Last Stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we were like, okay, you can go.
Yeah. Yeah. Girl.
That's just no.
Seems a
Yeah.
little weird. Like I don't know.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Okay, so we all had the same crazy theory.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I was like, this dude is really mad at him.
Yeah. So yeah.
Plus, he's got some like spy tactics too, which it feels like it's like he's the next Nick Fury. He's just on the bad side, you know.
Yeah. And to do something enough to get Nick Fury from the space station to come on, because remember he said that there was nothing that I was coming back to the Earth for.
And then he, like we said, he wanted Nick Fury to be there. And you're right. Do you need Nick Fury? Like, you don't need it to be Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Because
You could have been Ross.
no one
You
knows who
could've-
Nick, like still Shield's out in the open, but does anyone really know who Nick Fury is?
No.
Unless
Outside
you're really
the
closely
government.
Like
following it.
he's a good spy.
Yeah, outside the government, people really don't know who he is.
Right.
Some people
So
probably still think he's dead.
you legit could have had any prominent American in there. Like you could have did Tom Hanks. Look, Tom Hanks blew up Russia.
Yeah.
So
Also, since you're Skrulls, you didn't need to get an actual person there at all.
yeah.
You could have turned into someone and had them. I mean, Zemo did it for Civil War by putting on a mask, right? Like
Yeah.
they could have just been a prominent American and made set the bomb off, and it would have been a whole big thing. So,
But if Nick Fury's not there, you don't get Maria Hill.
yes, and
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Maria Hill because I think that's part of Gravik's plan. One, he was 4 steps ahead of them the whole time. Like the whole sending Talos' daughter to get them to come there, get them to trust her, then have them there, have them following the wrong people, the explosion, distraction, and then the final little bit, which we haven't mentioned yet, but turning into Nick Fury to shoot Maria Hill.
Which then makes me think Nick Fury was on his game. He picks up on this. Like it's like
Yeah.
you know this is a trap from the get go.
Yeah, well, he knew it was trapped when he saw the little girl again. And then they kept turning into other people. And then it was like Gravik was following him the whole time.
Yeah, but I just like, oh, Nick Fury would have sniffed this out
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
He did sniff it out.
And fake Nick Fury shoots Maria Hill.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And she dies.
And she dies.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I was like, oh, okay. This is what we do?
I was like, man, I wanted more Maria Hill.
Right? I was thinking like, man, we
I
finally get
figured
Maria
after
Hill to
Nick-
do something.
I figured after Nick Fury, we move on to Maria Hill, director of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's like in these movies, I'm like, oh, hey, we're gonna get Maria Hill, and then in all these movies, she has like 3 lines, and then she disappears. So I'm thinking, well, now that we have this show, she's
Right,
gonna
she
be
gonna
a
have more of
prominent
a
character
role.
in the show. She's all up in the trailers, and then you kill her at the end of the first episode. I was like, well, dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they killed Maria Hill. So that also sets a precedent for the show. Like, one, you didn't expect like her being an important Marvel character. You didn't expect her to die.
Yeah.
They don't even do this in the movies.
No.
Like kill somebody for real. So
Yeah. Well, only
She's
person
gone.
we know that don't die is Nick Fury because he's in the Marvels.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, that thing that exists.
And she's not a Skrull.
Which
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
hoping,
I was
like,
waiting.
I
She's
was
a
I'm like,
Skrull.
she's
waiting.
a Skrull,
She's a
though, for real, right?
She's a Skrull. Nope,
Nope.
she's not. Nope. She bled red blood and stayed.
I was like, waiting
that
for
way.
her to change.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to change.
Although with a little bit of show magic at the beginning of episode 2, we can show her turn into a Skrull. Like, I mean, you know how they do. You know how they do.
I ain't gonna be mad at that. I'll be like, okay.
Although we did see her like die for real on screen. Like,
Yo, look, if they want to backtrack that, I am okay with it.
Yeah. But how Nick Fury reacted, though, I was like, yeah, she did.
So
Yeah.
disappointing. But now who's gonna be your other spy?
Yeah, because she kept on saying, she was like, it was
Talos.
It was you.
well, no, I mean, she said that, but I don't think she was like saying like
Yeah.
you killed me. I think she was saying like obviously they
Mm-hmm.
turned into you, you know, because I think she's smart enough to know, like, even though the shock of being shot, you at first you're gonna be like Nick Fury shot me, but then she knows what's going on, like they're chasing Skrulls.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you don't know Skrulls are happening, you're like the betrayal.
yeah,
Yeah.
But like the moment Nick Fury shoots you, you know it's not him.
yeah.
But it also does not matter.
It doesn't matter, you're dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that though, because I thought that was Nick Fury too.
Right. Well, like when he shot her, I was like, oh man, was she a Skrull? How did he know?
Yeah, that's what I was like too. I was like, okay, Nick Fury was playing them the whole time. She was a Skrull.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no. I'm like, wait, no, she's not a
Yeah.
Skrull. Then I was like, maybe she was still.
So I don't
Nope.
know. I'm expecting green haired lady to show up because they
We need
another
to. There's
spy.
gonna be some Mockingbird. Oh no, that's
They already made a
Hawkeye's
stupid
wife.
Hawkeye's wife for no
Yeah.
dumb reason.
Yeah.
No
The
way.
next
Instead-
Mockingbird
Instead
Yeah,
of the girl from Shield.
no, it could still be
It's just
Bobby Morris, because
Yeah, I guess it's just a code name.
right, because
It's just a code.
Hawkeye's wife isn't Bobby, so
That's true. I was so like, Hawkeye, you wasting my time with this nonsense.
so I mean we can still get a Mockingbird. She is a part of Secret Invasion. I mean you can just twist it around. She's not a Skrull because that's how it started, right? Mockingbird died
Oh,
and she was a
Mhm.
Skrull. Jessica Drew, which I guess
Yes.
no, Sony owns some
Yeah.
for some reason. No, wait. They own Spider-Woman. They don't own
Yes.
Jessica. So they can put Jessica Drew in as just Shield agent.
she's Spider Woman with the black outfit
Yes. Well, and the
Yeah.
red and gold one is the
Yeah.
same.
and the who?
The red and gold one.
Oh,
The
So-
the one that they changed in Spider-Verse.
okay. So I think they need to add another spy to the story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I need more spies, and it would
In
be
the comic book is one of them too.
and I think it would be
Mockingbird
cool
and,
because neither Talos or Nick Fury is gonna be doing any type of action. So if we had someone that can actually fight, that would be nice.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely interested to see where the show goes.
So I'm rooting for a green haired lady. You said Mockingbird, which I actually like a lot.
Mhm.
So one of them two can make a appearance, and I'll be happy.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I have a strong feeling that Gravik is his son. He's got a vendetta against Nick Fury. And I could be wrong. I know it's a crazy theory, but I will definitely feel like a sense of gratification if I'm right.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought, and I was like,
I
that's
was
too
thinking
crazy
that
to say
too.
out loud. So
Also, other scroll watches. Rhodey.
you think Rhodey's a scroll?
I think Rhodey's a scroll.
I was thinking the president is one.
No, I don't think the president is. And I think Rhodey's a scroll because here's the thing. They're trying to start a war between U.S. and Russia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he puts this negative thought about Maria Hill and Nick Fury in the president's ear at the beginning. Now, Rhodey, I mean, I know he's a government guy, but he's also an Avenger, right?
Yeah, but he's always country first.
Yeah. But he's like, as of now, they're AWOL. Without looking into it or something, you don't think Rhodey would look into this? Like, okay, what's up with Nick Fury? And he's just going
And
to
I
go
feel
first
like-
and say, hey, they're AWOL.
I feel like Rhodey also would reach out to them first
Yeah.
and say like, "Hey, now that you're back, I am going to let the president know, but I'm giving you a heads up." Like I feel like that.
I
Would
feel like
would
Rhodey
do.
is always
Just like,
because
Soldier.
he's a soldier first.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
I would
think-
accept it if he's not. I just felt it was a little weird how he
I
went
feel like
about
the
it.
president was
Okay.
or is.
I think the president's gonna have a bigger role considering who they got playing him. That one guy who be in things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name.
Oh, Talos' daughter, the actor,
She's from Game of
Game
Thrones.
of Thrones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daenerys.
And Solo. And she's been in a bunch of stuff.
he said Solo like I seen that movie.
I
I
haven't
have
seen it
not
either.
seen Solo.
But she's been in a bunch of stuff. She's yeah. So
She in Solo?
yeah, she's in there. I'm pretty sure.
I thought she was in the other one where everybody died.
No, I don't think she was in it.
Rogue One. That's not her. That's another actor.
You're not talking about the main character, right?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Get out of here.
Okay.
That was Felicity Jones, whatever. Felicity something.
Okay.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Yes. So we need to be on the lookout for Who's a Scroll. And this show has to do it. It has to be a known person that we've seen through the MCU for a while that has been a Scroll the whole time. You have to do it.
Yeah. That will stay true to the comic.
Here's my issue with that. How is that any different than Hydra being behind the scenes the whole time?
Well, I'm not saying they had to affect anything, but like, oh wow, they were next to us this whole time. I know, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Because in the comic books, it's like that too. It's just like they weren't changing events or anything outside of the norm, except for what their plan was to take over the planet.
Like Mockingbird was a Skrull.
Skrull, right?
But she did her Shield missions.
Yeah,
right.
And she continued doing them, and it's just when a mission came up for...
So then in that case, if it has to be someone that's been around for a long time, considering we're not getting any of the other main characters up in this show...
You saying Rhodey?
It has to be Rhodey then.
It has to be
because
Rhodey.
There's no one else. You know what I mean? Bucky ain't making an appearance.
Right.
Yeah.
So... Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always get like a cameo or something.
Yeah.
But
unless there's an actor or two that they purposely did not put in any of the trailers that we're going to see.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's always that, but I'm thinking like, who are they going to get to show up in this show?
That's been a Skrull the whole time.
Well, you can think of some smaller people too. It doesn't have to be an Avenger. Now that would be, I think that would be cool if you did an Avenger was. Technically, Hawkeye could still be one.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense though. I would not agree if it was him. But like you could do that because he was never like seriously injured or anything like that.
Right. But Hawkeye wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, Hawkeye wouldn't.
So like I don't know who else is going to show up in this TV show. So you're like, hey, I was a Skrull the whole time. That would have a significance.
Yeah, I know. Rhodey. That's it.
That's your only option. Well, we already know the other people ain't coming back. Not for this.
Yeah, which is why I'm surprised Mary Hill wasn't one. I really thought that was going to be the twist.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more twists in the show as it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a spy show if it didn't.
So I'm excited to see what happens.
I am too.
Yeah. Any interesting facts that you
Let's talk about your AI thing first.
Okay, so the intro to the show, the opening credits, was AI generated. And apparently there's this big hoopla on the internet about it. And I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and say...
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know why this is a controversy. They didn't like fire someone and then like used an AI to do their job or something. I know they could hire someone to do the opening credits, but in general, that's all they do for the show. Like the person that made the Daredevil's opening credits, they were hired on to make the opening credits, and that's it.
Right.
So they didn't hire a company to make opening credits for them. Okay, so, I don't get it.
Here's my thing. It's an issue because the internet is an awful place. Like people will complain because they can complain and they're unhappy people. Like, I do not care who made the opening credits.
Yeah.
And with them being on strike right now, it just...
But the writers are on strike. That has nothing to do with the opening credits.
I think that's the only reason why it's becoming such a big deal is because of the writer's strike. Yep. Which, like you said, it has nothing to do with it. Because, yes, if you told me we had an AI write the show for us, I'm like, okay, first of all, that means the show's probably going to be trash.
Right.
Second, let's not do this, okay?
Right.
The writing belongs to people because art belongs to people. But when you take small stuff like, I just want to make an opening credit scene or something like that, or I want to make a thumbnail for my YouTube video, I don't care if it's AI generated. Who cares? It's not a big deal.
It's a non-issue because I watched that opening credit scene and had zero thoughts about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they used AI on purpose because of the kind of art that AI tends to generate. I think they wanted to make an uneasy feeling. Like it's kind of uncanny the way this stuff looks. And I think that's the point of it.
I don't. But like, this isn't. First of all, what they choose to do with their show is their business. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
now
I
you
don't
can
care.
talk about the ethics of CGI generating an actor's face or something like that. You can
How's
talk.
that any different than someone drawing Nick Fury's face versus the computer?
Well, no, I'm not talking about for the opening. I was saying when they're talking about like ethics in the movie and TV show making.
Well,
Like if Samuel L. Jackson died and they did this show with the CGI Nick Fury the whole time, you could talk about the ethics of it.
that's a completely different category.
Yeah.
That's a completely different category of like passing AI art as your own. That's
Yeah.
a completely different thing. They're using AI for a certain portion of their own TV show.
Yeah, that's true.
That is completely different. Like, this isn't an issue. I don't care. I don't care if the opening credits was done by a 2-year-old and some crayons. It doesn't matter who they got to make it.
Yeah. And I think that's another point that I was going to mention. It's like we get that, like, as this technology comes out, yes, we want to get on top of the morality of what to do and what not to do with it. But we can't start vilifying every form that we see. Like,
Right.
okay, just because it was AI doesn't mean that it was something negative.
Right. Yeah, because I use AI for this doesn't mean you can't use AI at all.
Yeah.
Like, and then for something like this, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to use AI to, write your school paper, which I know some of y'all are doing, that's completely
If
different.
you were smart, you would use the AI to write your school paper and then rewrite it.
The problem is they don't do that second part.
You have to rewrite it.
Yeah,
The
they don't-
AI is not smart enough to actually write the paper. You want it to make, never mind. All right, so yeah.
Like, that's completely different. But you're telling me they used it to make a 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not giving two thoughts about that.
Yeah. And
Really
I
cares?
actually like the opening. I think it's fine. It's like,
This is a
I think
non-issue,
much of
and
it.
just let people yell on the internet and be done. The thing is like, these small pocket of people on the internet have big voices,
yeah.
and just ignore them. Who cares?
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
So now let's go back to my fact about people on the internet.
Oh boy. Oh no.
So, so this show actually got like really mixed reviews.
Mixed, really.
So like, I'm looking at like the Rotten Tomato scores, and it's like 65% or something like that. Audience is like 70%, and I'm like, I watched this show. There's
Yeah.
no way it's so low. Like, it's one of the lowest rated Disney Plus shows.
Excuse me?
And there's no way it is worse than She-Hulk. There's no way it's worse than Ms. Marvel or Moon Knight.
It's definitely better than all three of them.
It's better than
Yes.
all three of those shows.
Especially
For sure.
She-Hulk. All right, no, go ahead.
So people are complaining. Like, my thing is,
What are we complaining about?
when Winter Soldier came out, everyone was like, we want more of that.
Mhm.
Right? So now we got a spy show, and people are saying, this is different. The MCU doesn't know what to do with us. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You said you wanted a spy show. They gave you a spy show because Captain America isn't wearing a spangly outfit? You don't like it? Because there's no superheroes throwing punches? And
a
there's
spy
just
show.
and then Nick Fury, what do they do with Nick Fury? He's not, I'm like, yes, Nick Fury is broken in this show.
That's
we're
fine.
But we're going to find out why he's broken.
Right. And then it's going to build character growth.
And then I'm pretty sure we're going to get the old Nick Fury at the
Yes.
end.
Are these the same
Always
people
in
that
the-
complained about Fat Thor?
So I don't understand, like, what do you want? You said, give me the Winter Soldier. The only thing this show was missing that the Winter Soldier had was a man with a metal arm.
Right.
Right? They gave you a spy thriller. You're like, Nick Fury's not the cold brother he was back then. No, he's not. But people change over 20 years or whatever.
But all those circumstances in the beginning changed.
Right.
A lot of people died.
Right.
Shield doesn't exist
They
anymore.
said something happened. You are different. Let's find out why this man is different before we say the MCU don't know Nick Fury. If there's one thing they know, is Nick Fury.
That's a bit insane. I'm like, How can you complain about?
So,
I mean, I guess
just-
everything's objective, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the other way around, people would be complaining by how this is supposed to be about spies and it's not.
Right.
Well,
so
I'm
now
glad
this
they
is
didn't do
this is
that.
not like the other MCU shows.
Do we
Right.
want it to be?
But
They-
that's my thing. Is like you didn't like
Each
the
show is supposed to be its own show.
you didn't like the last few things they came out with. They gave you something different, and you don't like it either. It's like they don't know what. Like, do you know what you want?
No, they don't.
Like,
that's
y'all-
basically what it is. It's not the
Then-
MCU doesn't know what to give you. You don't know what you want.
That's
You don't know what you
that's
want.
why when we talked about how, like, you know, the direction of where they going or whatever, the one thing that I will say was like, whatever they have planned, just stick to their plan.
Mhm.
Because if you listen to the audience and the viewers, is going to be jumbled and all over the place because people don't know what they really want. They say they will want this, you give them this, and then they're going to complain about something else.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking like, oh, don't like look. First episode in, I like what I see. Now, will that stay the same? After
Right. I'm
episode
like, it can
6?
change after this.
I don't know, but so far, I like what I see. But I just feel like you people, y'all some childish bastards, and you need to get it together.
The feel of the show makes me think that the rest of the show is going to be good.
Same.
I don't know, general vibe that they set up for the show.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I agree. Now, I mean, now a lot of the shows kind of have like those 2 middle episodes. Be like, what is happening
That's
right
what
now?
that's what I'm afraid.
So
of.
I'm hoping that
I'm worried
they-
about episode 3 and 4.
They avoid that. But so far, I like what I see. But I am also going to be open minded because, hey, She-Hulk, I said, I'll watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
And it went downhill since then.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say, oh, the show, I don't know how great, I don't know what the show's going to be. But I'm not going to say, oh, why is it different? It's supposed to be different. Like, okay, one, we can't get the Secret Invasion we got in the comics because that was, loaded with superheroes and shapeshifters.
Well, you got
and-
the Illuminati.
So,
and
like, we're not getting that
Electra
in a TV show.
No.
Yeah,
But
unless they do a
also,
movie.
I feel like we don't need it either.
No.
No, because the basic premise of it's who do you trust? You don't need it to be superheroes.
Right. It's basically who do we trust? Who was Skrulls this entire time? Do I need it to be Wolverine and the Black Panther fighting each other? I mean, there's one reason why it works for a comic book and different on a TV show. I don't necessarily need it. Now, I've said already, I would like another spy to show up in this show.
Yeah.
Like, I do want it to be more than just Nick Fury and Talos. That's true. Now, if I don't get that, I'm not going to instantly hate the show. I think they would benefit for someone more young and spry up in here, but I mean, I'm going to wait and to see, but I'm not going to say because I don't have a man in a spangly outfit that the show's no good.
Yeah.
And I just like, just people on the internet, they're just toxic and it's annoying.
And they can all and I think DJ brought this out, like they can always do like cameos or say who was a Skrull.
Yeah, because I don't think this is
You
going
don't
to
need-
end with the show.
Right. You could
No.
very well roll this over until a movie.
Yeah, like there's still going to be some scrolls on
Yeah.
Earth after this, and
Yeah.
you know, so it probably will show up in the Fantastic Four because they can't fight Doctor Doom again. God.
Well,
To be honest, yeah, make the Fantastic Four about the scrolls.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Right. If y'all saying the Super Scroll is going to show up, then we need a superhero to fight the Super Scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, if, okay, y'all saw that in the trailers.
Yeah.
Then
And his
either,
only he only fight against either the Avengers as a whole or the Fantastic Four. Like he's not a individual hero.
right. Well, so what I'm
villain.
saying is we know that's too much for a human government to fight.
Right.
Right. We know that's a Fantastic Four thing.
Right. And we
So-
know Fantastic Four is not going to have movie as a origin movie. So
if the Super Scroll is showing up, he's not going to die in this episode. I
Right.
mean, in the show, because that doesn't make any sense. There's no one capable of fighting him. So unless you have the Fantastic Four show up in the show, which would be absolutely ridiculous, and I
Right,
don't
no,
want to see that.
no,
that's
it will.
fine.
So-
It was already filmed, and we just now found
So
out
my
who the
thing
cast was 2
is
weeks
that
ago.
if we know for sure that's coming, then we know for sure there's some superpowered people coming somewhere. Maybe they don't show up in the show, but it can definitely spill over into another
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just first of all, like, just watch it and see what's going to happen. But don't be, why is Nick Fury limping? You know, and I'm like, I don't know, man. He left Earth for a reason. Why don't we find out first?
Yeah.
It's been 20 years or whatever.
Right. He's also old.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else there?
That was it.
That was it. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, chill out, people.
Basically.
About some stuff. But other than that, to me, this show looks really good.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see episode 2 and see where that goes. Of course, we'll probably talk about the entire series at the end of it and give our thoughts on it then. But if you've enjoyed it, let us know in the comments, and also subscribe, leave a like for more of our podcast, and of course, we'll catch you in the next one.